Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the TGIF Business Networking Hangout. I'm your host, Melanie MacDonald, Brand Identity and Social Media Outreach Strategy Consultant. Today, we've got a great guest, Linda Garcia, and our topic is financial planning, especially for small business owners and solopreneurs. A lot of times, it's not something that we think about as we go into business for ourselves. We often think about just making sure that we are finding clients, reaching our overhead, paying our bills, and not always thinking a lot about retirement planning from the beginning as we are planning to start a business. And Linda is going to talk to us today and tell us why that's important and why it's easier to do than we might think it is. So we're going to start with introductions, as always. First, we'll have our guests who are joining us today, and then we'll let Linda introduce herself. So, Fahad, please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do.
I'm a single individual freelance consultant, and I make web and mobile applications for a living.
And you make web and mobile applications for a living.
Yes, I do.
Since we don't have lower thirds today, do you have a website that you would like to send people to, or a contact that you would like to give out?
Yes, I mean it is fahad@codingwebsites.com.
Okay, and you can leave a link to that in the comments underneath the event listing after we're done if you like, so that people can reach that.
Sure, I'll leave the email address.
Okay. Linda Garcia, hi.
Hi, good morning.
Tell us a little bit about what you do. How did you get started? How did you get into this financial planning industry?
Good morning. My name is Linda Garcia, and I am a wealth advisor for WFG, which is a Transamerica company. Some of you may be familiar with Transamerica. It's a huge pointy building in San Francisco, and they're one of the largest financial firms in the United States, owned by Aegon, which is a European company who has billions of dollars in assets, and we've been around for hundreds of years, so it's a very reputable company. And I got started in this industry just recently. I've been in the insurance market and insurance industry for about 20 years, but I decided to, kind of take a little bit of a left turn just to learn a little bit of other things in the last maybe 4 to 5 years, because I did see a need in our market, especially for business owners, because I was doing business insurance, commercial business. I would do buildings, I would do commercial trucking, things like that. And I did notice that all these people want to do is really work, support their families, and build the American dream, which is why a lot of foreigners come here, okay, because they are able to open their own business, make their own money, and not really have a lot of time, because sometimes we exchange time for money, and a lot of us rather have money, because money you can always make more, but time you can never get back. So we get caught up in our business, we get caught up in time, and we always think that there's, we've got time, but the time passes by regardless. So whether you're planning for your retirement or not, if you have something set out for your future, it's never too late to get something started, for your retirement or just for savings, so that you don't necessarily need to work in your later years. You should be enjoying yourself, enjoying the fruits of your labor, golfing, enjoying your family and your grandchildren. And I want to teach a little bit more about that today.
So I have a question. I noticed that you said wealth advisor. What is the difference between that and financial planner? And I'm going to ask you to turn the volume down on your computer a little, because we're getting a little bit of feedback.
Okay. Is that helping?
Yep. Oh,
okay,
that's
perfect.
much better. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Well, the difference between a wealth advisor and an actual financial planner there's various things, but the major one that I prefer to be called a wealth advisor is that wealth advisors kind of adhere to more than one line of financial freedom. There's more than one way to save money. I never ever recommend my clients to put all their eggs in one basket. Okay, it's always smart to invest in various forms of vehicles, because you never know, one might have a good year, one might not have a good year. So, always have 3 to 6 months savings. A college fund is good. IULs are really great. Those are 7702 plans. A lot of my current customers, I always ask the question, with solopreneurs and entrepreneurs, I know one of the biggest, probably the biggest expense is taxes. So would you rather pay taxes now? Would you rather pay taxes later? Or would you rather pay taxes never? And they don't even know that there's a plan available to them where they would never have to pay taxes at all. And I'm talking about money put away for retirement. Okay,
Right.
so instead of
not on their business, on their retirement planning.
Exactly. Well, because you kind of, take the money of your profit instead of having to go ahead and report it to the IRS and be taxed on it. We can put that money away, some of it away for your retirement, reducing your tax liability. And the money that you put away is tax-free.
Okay. And Fahad is not in the United States, so just for the benefit of our audience, you are specifically talking about United States, correct?
Correct. Okay. We do have markets outside of the United States, but I'm not sure what country Fahad is in. I know that we do service Canada, and we also service some of Mexico and some of like Puerto Rico, things like that.
And that is WFG, right? So,
correct. The Trans-American Company.
So if they go to wfg.org, people can check, or excuse me, wfg.com, people can check and see if it's in their area.
Correct.
Okay. So,
or they can go ahead and they can email me.
At, what's your email address?
It's L Garcia, WFG, OPP, @iCloud.com.
Okay, that's pretty easy. And we'll put that in the event listing too at the end of this show for anybody who wants to email you. So we met a couple days ago, or last week maybe it was, and we had a really interesting conversation. And one of your other associates, Dara, was with you on that day. But one of the things that came up in the conversation that I thought was really interesting and great food for thought was that, Dara pointed out here in the Coachella Valley where I live, it's a big retirement community and a big golf community, and we get a lot of snowbirds. Snowbirds are people who live somewhere cold up north. We get a lot of Canadians during the rest of the year, but then in winter they escape their winters and they come down here for our mild winters. It's sadly in the 80s today. And they have oftentimes two residences, a home up in their northern cold climate and another home down here, or a vacation home that they'll rent for 3 months. And a lot of people look at them and think, wow, how can they afford that? How can they do that? These people are retired, they're not working anymore, and yet they have this kind of income that allows them to go back and forth and live the lifestyle you were talking about with the golfing. And you pointed out, well, it just comes down to that planning, and planning early enough, and planning when you're a kid, right away going into the market. And we talked about how there's a generational thing, and it's handed down a lot of times in families, because